don't just be lifting weight, actually be working the muscle. Number one biggest thing with guys when it actually comes to their training and training too hard, you're focusing on lifting a certain amount of weight, trying to satisfy your egos, and you're not focusing on how hard your muscle itself is actually working. Like, you guys think you're going to look like Arnold after a few lifts. You got to get for real, man. That's like saying, like, oh yeah, I want to start painting, but I don't want to become the next Michelangelo. Who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are that you are just so good at this and you just have these genetics that can just surpass people on steroids, like, in a few months? I do not know where, like, some people get these egos. I actually made a bet with my friend. He thinks that he can be 260 pounds and 10% body fat in a year. We bet like $2,000 on this. What's up, you guys? Coach Jeremy here, competitive natural bodybuilder. Just competed at the NPC West Coast Naturals in San Diego back in October. Took first place in my division, so I am planning on competing for my pro card sometime next year. So do me a favor and subscribe so that you guys can follow along for that journey. But today's topic of discussion, no, you are not training hard enough. And that is the thing holding you back. Now, I have worked as a group fitness instructor, personal trainer, small group trainer here in Southern California for the better part of the last 7 years now. Oh man, oh my God, I think my anniversary for work is coming up actually. Yeah, for like when I got my first training job. That's crazy, huh? Holy shit. Anyways. This is a problem that is still plaguing the fitness industry, and I truthfully mostly see this with women still.
It's me. Already gave you the time and the place, so don't be shy. Just come be the man I need. Tell me you got something to give. I want it.
Men tend to have a little bit better idea of how to push themselves and pushing themselves, and maybe sometimes they take it a little bit too far pushing themselves in the gym and don't focus as much on the technique and actually controlling the weight and working the target muscle itself. But yeah, there's still a big problem in today's fitness industry about not training hard enough, especially when it comes to the ladies, thinking that they are going to get bulky from working out too hard or lifting heavy weights. Do you have any idea how many years I've been trying to get too bulky? Do you? Let me tell you something. You don't have what it takes to get too bulky. This is just something that I had to talk about. But guys, you need to be training hard, all right? Especially ladies in the gym. What you think is going to get you too bulky is actually going to get you toned, you know. And for guys who are not pushing themselves nearly as hard as they should be, you need to be training harder because you just have to be. You have all the testosterone, everything going for you to be training hard, and you're just absolutely wasting your potential, you know. I do see guys still who are picking up like 10-15 pounds, like hitting curls like for 15 to 30 reps, you know what I mean? And it's just, you got to pick something heavier up at some point, bro. Same with you ladies, man, like picking up 5-pound dumbbells and still curling that because you don't want to get too bulky. You just want to tone the muscle. Girl, you ain't toning anything with that amount of effort. I'm telling you that right now. All right. You got to get in there and you need to be training hard. You need to be taking every set to failure. You need to be taking every set to failure because you ladies especially, you do not have testosterone. I have over 900 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone running through my body. Do you know how many you guys have? Like 40. I have over like 10 times, 20 times the amount of testosterone as you guys have. That is the number one chemical for building muscle specifically. And you guys have maybe 5% of the amount that men have. Some men, all right? Like, you guys have to be training hard if you actually want to tone your muscle. You need to be training harder than guys do, honestly. And that's like the biggest thing, man, is you got to be training hard. Especially ladies, like I'm telling you, you got to be training hard if you guys are serious about putting on muscle. When it comes to everything outside of that, you got to be eating enough protein and be eating enough calories, all right? Low carb diets are also not helping you. And this still speaks to a lot of ladies out there, because it's still a lot of my female clients that are like, "Oh, I don't eat a lot of carbs. I avoid carbs, blah blah blah." I do not. I will not start backhanding some people. I swear to God, you got to eat your freaking carbs, man. They are so important. Carbs give you energy. Your brain runs off of carbs. Carbs produce glycogen, which your muscles use as a form of energy to contract themselves. Your training is going to suffer if you do not have carbs. And if your training suffers, then your muscle mass will suffer. And then that will make you hold more fat or slow down your metabolism. Like, the carbs are not the enemy. The enemy is a calorie surplus. All right. At some point, if you're overweight, you ate more calories than your body had been expending. All right. And that's why you have excess body fat. Okay. And what you need to do to fix that is you need to get your butt in there and you need to train freaking hard. You need to work hard and expend that energy. You need to lift that weight. You need to squeeze the muscle. You need to work the muscle itself, okay? Guys, don't just be lifting weight, actually be working the muscle, all right? That is probably the number one biggest thing with guys when it actually comes to their training, and training too hard or training with wrong intention. You're focusing on lifting a certain amount of weight, trying to satisfy your egos, and you're trying to push yourself, and just think of, your winter grind and that girl who broke your heart. And you're not focusing on how hard your muscle itself is actually working. You need to be focusing more on proper contractions, squeezing and resisting with the muscle on the way down during the stretch. All right? Too often I'm still seeing guys, big explosion on the way up, heavy weight, right? And then they're just jerking it on the way down and then just yanking it back up. You got to control it on the way down. We have to control the weight on the way down. That's the most hypertrophic time of the actual workout, is during that stress position. That's when, imagine taking a rubber band and you squeeze it together a bunch, all right? Like, you're contracting your muscle, all right? You're pushing it together. You're squeezing it together. How much damage is that really going to cause? It'll cause a little bit of damage, right? But not a whole lot. But if you take a rubber band and you pull it apart and you yank it and you just keep yanking it apart, eventually that thing is going to rip and tear, right? I mean, that's obviously not what we want to do, but that's what's going to cause the most amount of stimulus that says to your brain, hey, we're using this muscle, using a lot of this muscle actually, and it's working hard, a little too hard actually. I need this thing to get stronger. And then that's when it sends that growth response to it, So guys need to, when you're training like, you're training hard, but you're not training in control. And that's the problem, okay? So, if you are training hard, great. If you're not training hard enough, you need to train harder, all right? You got to train hard. That's one of the biggest problems plaguing the fitness industry today, is that there are still tons of you ladies, especially out there, who don't want to get too bulky, or guys who don't want to get too big. Oh man, there are guys who actually do say, I don't want to be too big. I don't want to look like Arnold. My guy, yeah, I'm trying to look like Arnold. You know how hard it is to look like Arnold? Even Arnold couldn't say looking like Arnold. Look at Arnold now. Does that look like Arnold to you? No. Looks like somebody's grandfather, which he is, but doesn't look like the world's best bodybuilder, like, for 6 years straight. Like, come on. Like, you guys think you're going to look like Arnold after a few lifts. You got to get for real, man. That's like saying, like, oh yeah, I want to start painting, but I don't want to become the next Michelangelo. Who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are that you are just so good at this and you just have these genetics that can just surpass people on steroids like in a few months. I do not know where like some people get these egos. I actually made a bet with my friend. He thinks that he can be 260 pounds and 10% body fat in a year. We bet like $2,000 on this. He's going to send me to Japan. He's sending me to Japan. I can't wait. I'm going to send him pictures. It's going to be fantastic. Oh my God, I cannot wait. I'm telling you, dude, it's going to be fantastic. I mean, dude, people have super, and he's only been lifting for like a year, by the way. So yeah, like this is the kind of guy. But dude, people just have these super unrealistic expectations, and you gotta get them right, man. But anyways, if you guys like the video, do me a favor, subscribe. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Leave a comment too. Bye.